YouTube set up. Hopefully. Okay, yeah, I think that we've got the YouTube stream going. We got TikTok going, and yeah, hoping that we can have some good conversations this evening. The goal here is to have good faith, linear conversations about whether or not there's justification to believe in a God. Do one of those. But yeah, I mean, we'll see who comes up and what kinds of conversations they're willing to have. Unfortunately, sometimes people just are not willing to have good faith linear conversations, but that is the goal here. Hopefully, we'll get some adults who actually have some kind of argument or evidence that provides justification for their God belief. Who knows? Tonight could very well be the night that someone converts me to theism. We shall see, right? Yeah, I hope so too, Michelle. That is definitely the goal. See if we can have some good faith, linear conversations. So yeah, the requirements are to be a guest here, that you're 18 plus, and that you actually have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Oh, had somebody requesting, was about to bring them up, and then they ran away. Fair enough. I wouldn't want to support theism either, which is why I'm not a theist, because I know that it's not a position that actually can be supported. There is no rational justification to believe in a God. But hey, maybe somebody will convince me that I'm wrong, right? I love learning, so I would be stoked if someone showed me that I was missing something and that there actually was justification. I don't think it's going to happen, but it seems epistemically possible, though. So we'll find out. Hey, I appreciate that, Dom. There's always a chance. Caesar, are you at least 18?
Yes, I'm 18.
Okay, what God do
How
you
you
believe
doing?
in?
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
I said, what's the best argument or evidence?
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Do you want to have a conversation, or do you just want to be a broken record?
He's my evidence.
That's not evidence. Do you have any evidence?
He
Do you have an
existed.
argument? That's a claim. Can you demonstrate that that claim's true?
Every historian has claimed it.
No, not every historian. Can you provide
Even
the
the
evidence?
non-Christian ones.
Can you provide the evidence? Obviously, if you're right that every historian agrees that Jesus exists, then there must be great evidence. Why don't you go ahead and supply the evidence?
Wes Huff, a
That's just a
historian.
name. What's the evidence?
The Bible.
The Bible is the claim. So I'm not asking for more claims. I'm asking for the evidence. Do you understand the difference between a claim and evidence?
Well, you ask evidence for God.
Yep.
Evidence is Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
No, that's
Simple.
not evidence. That's just the part of the claim. Part of the claim that part of your claim that the Christian God exists is that Jesus existed and Jesus resurrected and was God and all that. That's
right.
all the
See,
claim.
You know it.
Yeah, that's all
So
the
you know
claim.
it.
That's all the claim. I'm
So
asking
why you
you.
don't believe in that story?
I'm asking you to provide the evidence that justifies belief in that claim. Are you capable of doing that?
The Bible.
Okay. The Bible is the claim. So this is the last time I'm asking you. Do you have any evidence whatsoever that the claims in the Bible are true?
40 different people wrote it.
Fair enough. Wow. Wow. That's about all I've got to say about that. It's clearly somebody who has never actually considered whether or not there's justification for their position. I'm going to say the claims are the evidence. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, Wes Huff is not a historian. That's accurate. You're definitely right about that. I mean, he's unfortunately for the theists, I have considered Jesus of Nazareth. and also unfortunately for the theists, I considered it honestly, and I actually looked at the evidence. So yeah, if you are 18 plus and actually have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God, I'd be glad to have a conversation with you and see, whether your argument or evidence is compelling to me. Maybe it will be. Who knows? Um, but currently don't have anybody requesting, so we'll see if anybody does actually want to come up. Technology, you guys, it's annoying. But yeah, like I said, so yeah, if you want to come up, if you want to have the conversation, as long as you're 18 plus, believe in a God, and have some kind of argument or evidence, feel free to request. If you don't know how to request, it's just the blue and pink people icon next to the chat, the text box. You click that blue and pink, people or whatever, and then that'll give you a box that pops up and allows you to request. Not really holding my breath that we'll have any good conversations or that we'll actually get any engagement, but hey, I could be wrong. Oh yeah, it does do the Jesus. The announcements channel in my Discord. Speaking of which, I'll plug my Discord. So I started a Discord recently. It's still relatively small, but we are in the process of, trying to build a community that can be fun for everybody. You do not have to be an atheist to join. The goal there is to just have honest conversations about the relevant topics. If we can all learn and grow together, I think everybody wins, right? So that is the goal there. I will go ahead and I suppose I can put up the QR code here in case anybody's interested in scanning that to join the Discord that way. And then also, I can drop the link into the TikTok chat. It's pinned over on YouTube, and I threw it in the chat here. Is it going to let me pin it? Yep, for a little bit, it looks like. So that is the link over to the Discord. Obviously, no pressure. If you don't want to join, no problem. But it is, as atheists, something that I think that we're all lacking is community. And like I said, the Discord is not specifically for atheists. I shouldn't have moved it. Shouldn't have moved what? The QR code? Should I move it back? I mean, I didn't move it that far. Where does it need to be? I don't know. I was trying to get it out of the way. Well, where does it need to go? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know why it would be out of frame. That's weird. No, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep moving it around. You can barely see the God is Fiction. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, y'all. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. QR code is deactivated. Fuck balls. Well, I guess I got to get rid of that. So the link, I'll post it in the chat one more time. If you want to join the Discord, feel free. But we're going to hopefully have some good conversations this evening. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Hi, Joey. Are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Cool. And what God do you believe in?
I am Christian. I believe in the Trinity.
Sure. And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
Well, I mean, we can talk about, are we talking about God existed or that there's a God in general?
I feel like my question was pretty specific. I'm asking for the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God.
We can talk about the book of Josephus, who was a Jew, who documented Jesus. We can talk about the Roman manuscripts, who documented Jesus as well.
Yep. Just even if you think that there's evidence that Jesus existed, that has nothing to do with whether a God exists. And my question wasn't, what's the evidence that Jesus exists? My question was, what's the argument or evidence that gives justification to believe that God exists? You understand the difference, right? That was enough to run away? That was enough to run away? Wow. Okay then. Where do I put this fucking thing? Just like right the fuck over my face? Historicity of Jesus ran away immediately. Just in case Joey comes back, I want to remember what kind of interlocutor he is. So if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining the guest queue to come up and talk, please make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Believe in a God. Hi, Techly. Are you at least 18? Hello.
How are you doing today?
Are you at least 18?
How are you doing today? Hello?
Are you at least 18?
How are you doing today? 18?
Okay. Clearly not connecting there. Hi, Faith. Are you at least 18?
Yep.
What God do you believe in?
Jesus Christ.
Cool. And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
To believe in a God or believe in Jesus Christ?
Did you not hear the question?
No, I just want to I obviously believe that Jesus Christ is God. Or are you just talking God in general, like a higher, higher being, or are you just talking Jesus Christ?
Is there some kind of connection problem? I feel like I was pretty specific with my question. I asked the question that I asked specifically.
Cool. Let's go for All right, cool. Let's just get to the point. Cool. Creation. Just the fact that whatever things that you see, they were created by someone or something. And so by that virtue,
that's certainly a claim. Why should I think that anything is created or that like the universe is created?
Because everything inside of the universe, we can see it was created at a certain point in time.
No, we can't see that. We can't see that at all. So why should I think that the universe was created?
What do you mean you can't see that? You can literally see that every single day.
No, I look around and I don't see, the only things that I see are created are things that humans have created. Or maybe you could say like a beaver dam was created or a bird's nest or something like that. Sure, maybe those things are created, but I know the things that create those things, there's no mystery there. And those things don't give any reason to believe in a God. You're saying that I should believe that the universe itself was created. Why in the world would any rational person believe such a ridiculous claim?
Yeah, in the same way that if I saw a beaver dam, even if I've never seen a beaver, I know that's a natural thing that was created there. I know someone had put that there purposely. So in the same way,
no, you don't know that. That's the only reason that we know about beavers, and the only reason we know beaver dams are from beavers is because we have background information about what beavers are and how they build dams. If we had never seen a beaver before, we wouldn't know that. If you came across an item that you had never seen before and it had aspects, features to it that you weren't familiar with and you didn't know what they were for, you would have no way of knowing whether or not it was created. You wouldn't know whether or not it was created until you had background information about how it came into existence and how it's possible for such a thing to come into existence. Since we don't have that kind of background information for the universe, I don't see a reason to believe that the universe was created. Now, without appealing to this nonsense, do you actually have any argument or evidence?
Yeah, I've definitely got plenty of evidence. Like, if we're going to talk about background information, I've got the evidence, obviously, of Jesus Christ in the Bible.
That's not evidence. The Bible is the claim. Is there evidence? Why should I think that things are created? I don't know why you're running away from the argument that you were trying to give.
No, I can.
Fantastic. So why should I think the universe was created?
Because if something exists with design, if something exists with order, with purpose, with life, it's more reasonable to believe it came from like an intelligent creator than just from nothing.
Okay, so anything that has order in it must have been made by an intelligent creator?
Yes.
Mhm.
No,
And
no, no.
God-
Not just hold on. Sorry, not just yeah, yes, actually, yes.
Fantastic. And God has a lot of order in his thoughts, doesn't he?
Yes.
Well, what that means is, by your own argument, God must have an intelligent creator. And if God has an intelligent creator, then God's not ultimate. However, if God exists, then God is ultimate. So based on your logic, based on the principle that you introduced into this conversation, the only rational conclusion that we can draw is that God doesn't exist. Do you want to retract your claim that led to the conclusion God doesn't exist, or do you want to accept the conclusion?
No, I want to add to it that God lives outside of time and space.
Now you're just special pleading. So instead of actually trying to fix your argument, you just want to make it into a logical fallacy? That's your strategy?
In what sense?
Okay. You
Okay,
gave a
okay.
principle. You said this is a thing that is like all x's are y, is what you said.
Yeah.
And then when I showed that if all x's are y, then God doesn't exist, you said, well, there's one x that isn't y. That's called special pleading. That's a logical fallacy.
Okay. What if we go for all things that? Okay, let's go for a soul and consciousness.
Why
That
should I
would be-
believe in souls?
Okay, so you don't believe. So you don't believe. Okay, so do you believe that animals have souls? I mean, sorry, you don't believe in souls in the first place. Sorry, I believe in souls because human beings, it's clear that we have a consciousness, and other things just don't. We have emotions, consciousness. We have all things that inhabit a soul.
Yeah, we know exactly where all those things come from in our brains, and we know why our brains produce different experiences for us than other animals, because we can tell the differences between our brain and their brain. When we know with some degree of confidence what kinds of experiences that certain animals have, what similarities and differences there are between the experiences of humans and animals. However, that doesn't give me any reason whatsoever to believe in a soul. Why should I believe in a soul?
Because you can clearly see that the difference between animals and human beings.
Yeah, and I explained that we know that difference is caused by the differences in our neural structures. So
Yeah, but
just appealing to something that we can already explain without a soul isn't going to be a way to provide evidence for a soul. What you're trying to do is say that a soul can explain something that no other hypothesis can explain. The problem is the stuff that you're pointing to is well explained by other non-soul related hypotheses. So in order to provide evidence for a soul, you have to point to evidence that my view cannot explain.
Yeah, your view cannot explain why we build skyscrapers and monkeys. Who have
Yes,
been
I
around for
already
10,000
explained it
years
to you.
do
Are
not
you
do the
really
same
this
thing.
fucking dense? I just
No,
explained
we're
to you
not.
that we do know the difference. So you need to point to evidence that my view can't explain.
And I'm trying to let you know that you've got all these. Yes, you can explain all these different things from animals, but you can see that humans are completely different.
Yeah,
You
and we
can't
can
just-
explain the differences. I just got done telling you that we can explain those differences. Is there a difference that we can't explain, or do you just want to keep appealing to the things that I've already discussed?
Morality.
I've already thrown away. Okay, why should I
Morality.
think that morality has anything to do with anything supernatural, a soul, a god, anything like that? Are you saying that morality
Animals
proves
don't
God
have-
exists?
Animals don't have morality.
That's patently false. That's demonstrably false. We see moral behavior in all kinds of animals. We see moral behavior in birds. We see it in other primates. We see it all over the place in social creatures. That's an insane claim that somebody who had never thought about this before, the only person who would ever make the claim that you just make is someone who has no idea what the fuck they're talking about. So congratulations for letting us all know you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Do you want to maybe stick to something that you do actually know something about, or do you want to keep making yourself look like a fool?
Okay, we can stick to something. Let's carry on with that one. Let me keep making myself look like a fool. If we look at human beings and we look at, let's say, morality, we know inherently that murder is wrong.
No, we don't. No, not everyone knows inherently that murder is wrong. Obviously, you're wrong.
Okay, so why don't everyone just go and murder each other?
You said everyone knows inherently that murder is wrong. You're aware that there are people who are born psychopaths and sociopaths, right? And that those people don't have that innate knowledge?
Yeah, but okay.
Okay,
the majority-
so obviously the claim that you made is fucking bullshit, right?
Okay, what I mean
Is the
okay,
claim that you made bullshit?
everybody
Yes or no?
has two arms,
Is
everybody
the
has
claim
two
that you
arms,
made
if someone
bullshit?
falls
Yes or
with
no?
one arm-
Is the claim that
Listen,
you made
everyone has-
bullshit? Yes or no?
No.
Okay,
Can I
so then you have to demonstrate to me that sociopaths and psychopaths have that innate moral knowledge.
Okay.
Go
if I
ahead
say
and
the
demonstrate it.
statement- If I say the statement,
Go
that
ahead
everyone
and
has two
demonstrate
arms-
it.
If I said
Go ahead and demonstrate it.
But you're not listening
Go
to my
ahead and
statement.
demonstrate it.
I've just demonstrated.
Go ahead. No, you didn't. You need to provide a demonstration that psychopaths and sociopaths have the innate moral knowledge that you claim they have. Provide the demonstration or retract the
But you're
claim.
not listening. You're completely
Provide the
disregarding- you know that I'm
demonstration or
gonna say
retract the
thing.
claim.
I don't need to retract.
Provide the
claim because
demonstration or retract the claim. I can do this all fucking night if you want, man. If you just want to keep making yourself look stupid, no problem. Provide the demonstration or retract the claim.
I'm providing the demonstration.
Provide the demonstration or retract the claim.
Wait, so also
Provide
so
the demonstration or retract the claim.
all psychopaths.
Provide the
believe that
demonstration
they're
or retract the
murderers.
claim.
Provide the demonstration for what?
That psychopaths and sociopaths have the moral knowledge you claim that they have.
I don't need to retract the claim because
Then demonstrate it.
My claim.
Then
I only
demonstrate
retract
it.
The claim about I retract the claim about psychopaths. Yes, I retract.
Okay,
The claim about
no,
psychopaths.
your claim was that all people have the same innate moral knowledge, that all people know more murder is wrong.
Yeah, I
Demonstrate
believe
that
not
claim,
the fact.
demonstrate the claim or retract it.
Yeah, I can demonstrate the claim. I can demonstrate the claim because we just look at people. Not everybody's out here murdering each other, and I can say that statement same way that everybody has two arms, but
It got to a point where it was pretty obviously punching down. I'm not here to be ableist. That person must have been, maybe developmentally delayed or something. It was clear that he wasn't able to engage in the conversation. What was it? Creation. Incredulity. Morals. Fantastic. Okay, so if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining the guest queue, please make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Hi, Gohan, are you at least 18? I cannot hear you if you're off the app. Hello? Fair enough. Hi, Traveler, are you at least 18?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what God do you believe in?
Who gave you the breath that you're breathing with right now, sir?
What God do you believe in?
Who gave you the breath that you're using to breathe right now? Who breathed into you, into your soul?
If you can't answer a simple question like what God you believe in, then clearly you're not prepared to have this kind of conversation. What God do you believe in?
I believe in the only God that gave me breath. The only God.
Thanks for making it quick and letting me know that you don't have the capacity to have a serious conversation. Or cannot engage. Okay. So, if you are 18 plus and have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God, feel free to request up. And if you're in the guest queue, make sure that you fit that description. Hi, Nardia. Are you at least 18?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What God do you believe in?
The God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses.
Okay. That's an ambiguous answer. I'm asking you to just, don't be ashamed. Just tell me what God you believe in unambiguously.
Your name is Olgar, right? Let me just make sure I
Are you
pronounce it
able to
correctly.
answer the question or no? Because if you can't answer
God bless
that
you,
simple of a
sir.
question, I'm just going to move on.
Don't be a bully. I rebuke the bullying
If you're not
spirit.
able to answer
Whoever
that
hurt
simple of a
you,
question,
sir,
I'm just going to
I'm
move on.
speaking
This
to
is
the
your
little
last
boy in you.
opportunity.
Olgar, let me speak to the little boy in you. That's
Okay, fair enough. If you're in the guest queue, please make sure that you are 18 plus, that you believe in a God, and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification for belief in that God. Hi, Joe. Are you at least 18?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What God do you believe in?
Christian God.
Fantastic. What would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
The Bible.
The Bible is the
And just
claims.
the
That's just the claims. I'm not asking you for where the claims
right.
are. I'm asking you for the evidence. So what
Okay.
would you say is the evidence or some kind
Well,
of argument?
that's the beginning. Okay, so if you're an atheist, then do you believe in the Big Bang?
You don't have to ask me questions to make an argument. I mean, unless you're like,
Well, no,
unless you're
it
giving some
does.
kind of premises and then you're asking for whether or not I agree to a premise before moving to the next one, that's fine. But clearly that's not
But
what's
the
happening. So
thing
what I need you to
is,
do is just give the
the thing
argument.
that Jesus, the Son of God, died on the cross as this for our sins that
Yeah,
we
this
can
is
have
just the
eternal life.
claim. Do you understand the difference between
Oh,
restating
no,
the
it's been
claim and
proven. It's
providing
proven.
evidence?
It's proven,
Yeah,
and
you're
I can
supposed to
prove
be
it.
providing the demonstration that it's true. Give me the argument or the evidence. Don't
Okay,
just
I
restate
gave
the
you the
claim
Bible.
again.
The Bible
That's
is
not
the
evidence. That's not evidence.
Um,
If I write down, hold on.
would you
You
like
know
to
what I'm going to
discuss
do?
that?
Actually, you know what? We're going to do a big pivot here. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you irrefutable evidence that your God isn't real and who the true creator of the universe is. Hold on one sec. This is going to blow your fucking mind. Ready? Are you ready for this?
Probably not. Sure, go
Eunice,
ahead.
the universe farting unicorn, once ate a particularly spicy hypotenuse. When she farted, it created our universe. The hypotenuse she ate gave the fart logical and mathematical properties, and that's the grounding for math and logic in our universe. Millions of people witnessed her reveal herself on Mount Washington, and it even says that those stories are true. So since your position is that having something written down provides sufficient justification to believe that the claim is true, and I've now shown you that this the truths about Eunice are written down, that means that Eunice is
I'll let you
real and she's
finish.
the true
I'll
creator
let
of the
you finish.
universe, right? That
I'll
means
let you
that
finish.
Eunice
Are
is
you
real
done?
and she's the true creator of the universe, right?
My beliefs
I
are
need you to
way
answer the
less
question. I need
far-fetched.
you to answer the question. Do you
And I
believe
am.
you're not
I am.
answering the question, Joe? I'm asking you a yes or no question. I need a yes or no answer. Anything other than a yes or no is a concession. So, yes or no, since it's written down and I showed it to you, do you believe that Eunice, the universe farting unicorn, actually farted the universe out? Go ahead and unmute yourself and answer. If you answer with anything other than yes or no, I'm just going to move on
I
because
said
you're not able to respond.
no. I said no.
Fantastic. So if the answer to that is no, then that must mean that having something written down isn't sufficient evidence to believe in it. Correct?
Hey, were you around for the Revolutionary
So one
War?
more time, is having something written
Were
down
you
sufficient evidence to believe that it's
around?
true? Is having something written down sufficient evidence to believe that it's true? Yes or no? Do 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 boo doodle doodle doo 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 do 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 do. Nothing? You don't want to unmute yourself? You don't want to respond? Nothing? Okay. Well, I kind of figured that was about all that you had.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't realize.
is it your
I
position that
didn't.
having something written down is not sufficient evidence to believe that the claim is true?
That's hard to say.
No, it's
Because
not hard to say. Either
when
it's
there's
either stop,
13,000
Joe.
manuscripts,
Joe, you need to fucking stop. You need to calm down, focus on the question that I'm asking you, and answer the question that you're being asked, not the question you wish you were being asked. I keep having to mute you because you cannot engage. You can't focus on the conversation. We need to be having the same conversation back and forth here. Okay? So the question is,
right? But you're not
the
letting me
question,
talk.
no, because you're not engaging. You're not answering the question that you're asked. You're trying to run off into something else. In order for us to have a debate, stop,
I'm
Joe.
sorry. I
Stop,
apologize.
Joe. I'm
Right.
sorry. I'm so sorry that the
Right.
middle of my
You're right.
sentence interrupted the beginning of yours. You need to hold the fuck on until I'm done. Okay? I'm trying to keep this conversation linear, moving in one direction, so we
Go
can
ahead.
actually get to a conclusion.
Go ahead.
The only way that I'm ever going to believe in a God is if you actually engage.
ahead.
All right. So my question to you is, yes or no, is it your position
sir.
that
Go
having
ahead.
something written down is sufficient evidence to believe that it's true?
Dang, that's hard. Dang.
It's
It
not
can-
hard to answer
yes
if you're
or
an
no,
honest
and-
person.
It really can.
It's not hard to answer if you're an honest person. Do you believe every single thing? Joe, okay, I need you to focus. Do you believe every single claim that you read is true?
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
There must be some huge delay. I'm going to count to 3, and then I need you to say 4. 1, 2, 3.
4.
Okay, that's like an 8-second
I don't know why
delay.
my
Come back
microphone
if you
keeps
get a
getting
better
muted.
connection. You keep getting muted because you're not paying attention. You're not sticking, you're not, having the same conversation as me. And maybe part of that was because there was an almost 10-second delay. All right, so if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Hi, Maine, are you at least 18?
I am 39.
Okay, what God do you believe in?
I am not 1,000%, but I believe that there is some innate consciousness that has brought existence from non-existence for us to experience here.
Okay, so you believe that there's like a personal ultimate foundation to reality?
Something to that effect.
Right, like a mind that brought the universe into existence?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. I mean, that sounds
Okay.
pretty logical.
And what's the argument or evidence that would provide justification to believe in that?
I would have to say the basics of this reality and the non-reality. If you or anybody you know has ever died, I've died a few times and been in infinite blackness and experienced.
Yeah, I don't really care about that.
consciousness.
I don't care about that. I just want actual arguments or evidence that would provide justification to believe in a God. Do you have anything like that?
I mean, for every up there is a down. For every left there is a right. For an in
Has nothing
there
to
is
do
an
with a
out.
God? What's the argument or evidence that a God exists?
I mean, even a disbelief in God is still a belief in God.
Do you have an argument or evidence, or no? Should I just move on?
You can move on, bro.
All right. Well, hey, at least you know that your belief is irrational. I would recommend that you stop doing that. Hi, Nate. Are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Cool. What God do you believe in?
I am agnostic, so
Well, I'm
I
just doing
believe
God
that there
debates
could.
here.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Do you have some specific argument that you wanted to run through, or what?
No, more just the fact that, like, all the religious people that talk about, like, the
I don't really want to
mathematical
talk
stuff
about
and
things
the
that you don't believe. I'm only interested in talking about, like, if there is some specific argument that is preventing you from just accepting, or at least taking the position that you don't have a positive belief that there's a God, then we can discuss that argument. But if you just want to, like, preach about what you don't like about religion, then I'm just going to move on.
No, it's not that. I'm just saying that.
Well, I don't want you to talk about
Because
other people or what other people believe or don't believe. That's completely irrelevant. I don't give a fuck about that. Is there some argument or evidence
well,
for
it's
God that
relevant
you
in
find
my larger
compelling?
point. I think it's relevant in my larger point. I haven't finished the
I
sentence.
don't care. I don't care. If there is a larger point that you want to make and there's like some specific argument or evidence that you want to discuss, just tell me that. I don't need all the preamble. I don't need the introduction. I don't need the backstory. I don't need any of that. Okay. Thank you for leaving. Okay. All right. So if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining the guest queue, please make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Hi, PJ. Are you at least 18?
Yes, sir. I am 24.
Do you believe in a God?
Yes, I believe in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Fantastic. What would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
So the rational justification I'm going to use is the historical accuracy of the Bible. Just let's go first from the argument of who Jesus Christ was as a person.
No, I don't care about that.
Without
That's irrelevant.
Okay, that's irrelevant when I'm
Yes.
making a claim that Jesus Christ is God.
Yes, it's irrelevant whether or not what kind of person he was. It's irrelevant the things, like the ministries or the what the fuck is the word? The sermons that you think he gave,
No,
the
that's not
parables
at
you
all
think
what
he
I'm
told.
referencing.
I don't care about
No,
any of
so
that
that's not
stuff.
at all
All I
what I'm
care about is
referencing.
I'm so sorry that the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours, but maybe you
Yeah.
could act like a fucking adult and actually wait for me to finish before you start talking
Yeah.
over me. The only reason that I'm interrupting you is because you're off topic. So we're talking about something very specific, and that is arguments or evidence that provide justification to believe in a God. We're not doing a history lesson. We're not talking about
Yeah,
Jesus.
not at all what I was
Dude,
doing,
PJ,
sir.
are you incapable of having an adult conversation? Like, what the fuck is your
So
problem?
you interrupted me because I was
Yeah, and I
incorrect, so
explained
I'm
to you
interrupting
why
you 'cause you-
I explained to you why I interrupted you, didn't I? I told you exactly what happened, and that also tells you what you can do to not get interrupted in the future. So when I wrap up here and I ask you this question one more time, if you respond with an argument or evidence, you won't get interrupted. So what is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
that the Bible could not exist unless it was written by God, and I have historical evidence of proof. He would
That's
let me
not an argument,
explain
and
it.
that's not evidence. Do you have an argument or evidence? I don't want you to
How
just
is it?
make claims.
How is that not evidence? I can show you the
Because it's
evidence
just a
that the Bible
claim.
is
Do
the
you
word of
understand the
God.
difference between a claim and evidence?
Yes, there is evidence, but you're not letting me explain.
I'm
it to
asking
you.
if you
You're just
understand the
interrupting
difference
me.
between a claim and evidence.
Yes, a claim is something that your opinion. You are stating this and with belief it's true. Evidence is this is hard evidence this happened. I'm trying to show you the evidence that this happened.
Okay, so
but you
stop
instead
talking about the
interrupted me and
claims
getting
then,
fresh. Do you
PJ.
not see how you just interrupted me?
Yeah,
again?
because you're off topic. I don't give a fuck about the meta. I don't care about your crying. I don't care about your whining. I don't care about, oh, but you just interrupted me when I was off topic. I don't give a fuck about that. All I'm interested in talking about, the only topic I'm interested in talking about, is whether or not there's an argument or evidence that would support the belief in a God. That's it. So whatever the argument is, whatever the evidence is, if you don't get straight to it, I'm going to continue interrupting you. If you have to do this intro, you have to do this preamble, you have to do this whole sermon about all this other stuff and like lead into the argument, I'm going to interrupt you again, or I'm just going to drop you. So now you can unmute yourself and just give the argument or evidence. If you do anything other than that, I'm dropping you.
Jesus Christ's entire life was documented in a book outside of the Bible and in the Bible. His life, if it is played out the way it is documented, was 100% predicted 1,000 years before he existed, meaning that it is not possible for that to happen without God's help.
No, I mean that's completely untrue. Prove the last claim. Prove the last claim.
What? Which one?
That it wouldn't be possible for the Bible to exist without God.
Okay, thank you. So Jesus Christ's crucifixion is one of the most
No,
inarguable.
that's
events in
irrelevant.
history.
That's irrelevant. Prove the claim.
How is that irrelevant? I'm showing you references of how his crucifixion is
Yeah,
documented.
it has
outside of
nothing
the
to do
Bible.
with whether or not a God exists. That's how it's irrelevant. You're
Because
saying
the
that the
Bible
Bible. Oh my fucking God, PJ! I don't know what is wrong with you. This should not be this difficult. Your claim was that the Bible could not exist without a God existing. I want you to demonstrate that that claim is true. What you don't need to do is talk about things inside the Bible that you haven't demonstrated to be true. If there's something inside the Bible that you can show is true, and then that leads to demonstrating that God exists, fine, do that. But just making more claims is not getting us. Oh my fucking God, dude. You just don't have the ability to have a conversation. Moving on. All right. So if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Hi, Matt. Are you at least 18?
I'm 44. You got like 213
And what God do you believe in?
people in here. I believe in the God of Jesus Christ.
Okay. And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
The martyrs of Christ.
Why should I think there were martyrs?
If you're too damn stupid to read and to see that there was martyrs and there's Roman history supporting it, you the dumbass.
What's the Roman history?
I mean, the Roman history is Jesus was.
Yeah, where can I go read it?
crucified.
Where can I go read it?
I think Tardicus. What was his name? Tacticus wrote.
Oh, you're talking about
Tacitus,
Tacitus, who doesn't say anything about the the martyrs that you're claiming? Yeah, I'm aware of Tacitus.
What about the Jewish? What about the Jews? What did they say about Christ? They didn't even believe in Christ. What did they say about it?
Yeah,
He
they.
was absolutely crucified, right?
So why would you ask me a question and then talk over my answer?
Because you're a dumbass. Hell, that's what I do to dumbasses. Talk over their damn ass.
Okay. Not Tarticus. What did Tarpetus have to say? Okay. What was that idiot's name? Matt Dandy or something? Yeah. Hey, Obelisk. Frank, in order to join the guest queue, you need to go on TikTok, Ogar Debates, and request to join. So yeah, if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God.
Yeah.
Okay, are you at least 18?
Yeah, of course, man.
And what God do you believe in?
Yeah, it's I believe in Christianity, but
okay. And what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
Oh yeah, the moral law. If you ever heard of that, but
okay, you want to give the moral argument?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'll just
do you want to present a specific formulation of the argument, or do you want me to just like assume that you're using the normal, the generic formulation?
What would be the generic formulation?
Typically, it's going to be something along the lines: if objective moral facts exist, then God exists. Objective moral facts exist, therefore God exists.
Yeah, but like, it's not going to be that simple. I can break down to the moral law and why objective moral facts would exist.
That wasn't my question. Is that a accurate summation of the argument, or do you think?
Yeah, basically, that would basically be the accurate.
Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is that argument is self-defeating. So I don't think you want to give that argument. You can either move on to a different argument, or I can explain why it's self-defeating.
No, but I'm just going to explain the moral law real quick.
No, I'm already aware. I'm already aware of what morals are. I don't think that.
Yeah, but
I don't know why you think I don't know what morals are. I'm saying that this argument that you've given is self-defeating. It defeats itself.
I haven't even gave my argument yet.
You gave the argument. You just confirmed. You just confirmed that that's the argument. Are you now giving a different argument?
How about I just give my premises? Is that okay?
No, it's not okay. I gave you the premises. I gave you the argument, and you agreed that it was the argument.
No, that would not be my argument.
Okay, this is not the argument?
No.
Okay, what is the argument?
So it'd be that premise one would be humans experience a moral law, a sense that some actions are objectively.
No, stop. There's no fucking way you think I can type that fast. Stop being an asshole. Humans experience.
I didn't type it out. That's my bad.
Humans experience
a moral law.
A moral law.
A sense that some actions.
I don't need the explanation. Just give me the premises.
This is the premise.
It's a premise. It's a premise. Really?
A sense that some actions.
Oh my fucking god! That some actions
are objectively, right or wrong.
Yeah, you think I don't know what morals are? Jesus fucking Christ!
Are you okay?
No, not when I have to talk to idiots like you. No.
Premise 2. This moral law is not merely a matter of personal preference, social convention.
Jesus Christ. Social convention or
instinct.
You don't need to say comma, dude. Jesus fucking Christ.
Because people appeal to it as a standard. What are you doing? Are you
okay? Premise 3.
No, it goes to conclusion 1. It go to conclusion 1. Therefore, objective moral values and duties exist, and then we go to premise 3.
Well, no, I mean, we can stop here. This is already invalid.
Tell me why it'd be invalid.
If you don't know how to determine the validity of your own argument, then you shouldn't be giving an argument like this. Explain the inference rule. Explain the inference rule.
Oh, why the moral law does exist?
No, explain the inference rule. What's the inference rule that makes this valid?
Would it be the inference rule? Can you define inference rule for me?
Yeah, like the rule that this follows that shows that the conclusion follows from the premises.
How would the conclusion not follow from the premises? I'm trying to figure out what you mean.
That's what you need to demonstrate, that it does follow. So provide the inference rule.
Sorry, I'm having a tracking error here. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm really not familiar with the inference rule here. Can you explain what the inference rule means? Sorry.
So an inference rule, like let's say, for example, modus ponens. Do you know what modus ponens is?
Yeah, isn't that? Yeah, I'll just say yes.
Okay, that's an inference rule. Modus tollens is also an inference rule. Any inference or any well-formed argument in premise and conclusion form is going to follow some inference rule. It doesn't have to be a named inference rule, but you should be able to show, you should be able to translate the premises into some kind of, at least some sort of even informal logical language, and show that the terms in the premises connect and that the conclusion follows from those connecting terms. Your argument doesn't have that as far as I can see, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, you would be able to tell me how the conclusion follows from the premises. So explain to me how this first conclusion follows from these two premises.
Do you want me to tell you how they connect?
I want you to tell me the inference rule. Is this...
So if I'm understanding this right, the inference rule, if there would be a moral law that was existing, that people are born with a sense of right and wrong, and the premise 2 explains how they would have to be...
No, that's just restating the premises. An inference rule is going to be like modus ponens, which you said that you knew what it is, but obviously you don't, is going to be something like if P, then Q. Oh, I forgot that all-important comma. You didn't tell me to put the comma there, man. And then conclusion Q, right? And we can see how the conclusion follows from the premises. Premise 1 tells us that if P is true, then Q is true. Then premise 2 tells us that P is true. So now we know, because of what these two premises have told us, we can rationally conclude that Q must be true. And anytime these two premises are both true, we can be confident that the conclusion is also true. That's what a valid inference does for you. It guarantees that the truth of the premises leads to the truth of the conclusion. What you need to do is show how the truth of these premises leads to the truth of this conclusion. If you can't do this, this is a bad argument.
No, I can't do that. I was going to explain why the moral law would be...
Yeah, you need to be able to do something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but you need to be able to do something like that that explains how the conclusion follows from the premises.
Yeah, what would it be called? So it's called the inference rule, correct?
Yeah, you just need to learn the basics about logic. This isn't even Logic 101. This is just like baby's first logic vocabulary.
No, rule emphasis called a real transformations form of God. Oh, I think I know what you mean. Let me look into this more.
But it sounds like essentially what you're doing is you're just giving a long version of the argument that I gave. You're just saying that people experience this moral law, and I'm going to claim that it's objective, and then I'm going to claim that if there are objective morals, God must exist, and then I'm going to conclude that God exists. Did I get it right?
Do you want me to...
Did I get it right? Did I summarize your argument accurately?
No, but do you want me to put the inference rule or in chat, or do you just want me to explain that?
No, tell me the inference rule. What's premise 1?
Shoot. Wait, let me think about this. Let me look. So,
yeah, right now, what the inference rule that you have is something like A, and then premise 2 is B, and then the conclusion is just B. This is your inference rule right now. Can you tell how the conclusion isn't guaranteed to be true by the premises?
So if I got this right, so would it be like, oh shoot, would it be like if P then Q, then the second one would have been like not Q, then 3 would be therefore not P.
That's modus tollens, and this is definitely not modus tollens. What is if this is modus tollens? Where is P in the first premise? What's P?
What What do you mean, what's P?
Yeah, so like let's say if
Bro, I'm just trying to figure this out. I
if
don't know.
Socrates is a man, if Socrates is a man, then he is mortal.
Wait, are you asking what's P in like premise 1?
Yeah. Socrates. Oh, you wanted to do modus tollens. So we'll say Socrates is not mortal. Conclusion: Socrates is not a man. So now we could provide the translation, because this is if P then Q, or well, an easier way to write this out would be, we will say this is P implies Q.
Oh wait, I think I know what you're getting.
And
now.
then Socrates is not mortal. Oops, Socrates is
then the
not
P would
mortal.
be-
So
the
this
P
is going to
just be
be
that.
not Q, and so then this is going to tell us not P.
Oh, yeah,
And then
I
if
got
we
you.
wrote out what the translation is, we can easily show that P is Socrates is a man. We can easily show that Q
Wait, so
is
the P in premise
Socrates
1 would be
is
God does not
mortal.
exist.
So we can show what the translation is. If we plug P and Q into these letters here, we'll get the exact same argument that we already had. Now we need to do that here. You said this is modus tollens. What is P in the first premise? What's P?
Would it be God does not exist?
P is God does not exist?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And where does that show up in this first premise here? Because I don't see the words God does not exist or God does exist in the first premise, but maybe I'm just blind. I don't
Well,
remember
it just
writing
means,
it in
like,
there. Where is it?
So, no, I'm not trying to write it in there. If we
No,
have
what
one
is
of-
the what? Okay, you said that these two premises and this conclusion follow the form of modus tollens. That means premise 1 is if P then Q, premise 2 is not Q, and the conclusion is not P. What is P in the first premise? Or do you agree that this isn't modus tollens?
that would be that God does not exist.
Premise 1 doesn't contain anything about God existing. So P cannot possibly be
Yeah.
God does not exist.
Yeah, because if there's a moral law,
You're
then
saying
there would
this
have
is
to-
P implies Q, but there's no
No.
P or Q in this. What the fuck are you talking about? What is
No,
the P?
Ogre, I think what I'm trying to get at here in premise 1, it'd be like if there is a moral law, then there have to be a moral lawgiver.
Okay, that's the argument that I gave from the beginning, you fucking asshole. Dude, I said this from the top. This is your argument right here. This is why won't it copy paste? Why will it not paste?
Sorry,
What is
just on
happening?
Nixon philosophy. I just started reading Mere Christianity.
Okay, yeah, this is the argument that you're trying to give. And this is the argument that I gave, and you said yes, and then when I was ready to show you why it's self-defeating, you said, no, it's a different argument, and now it's just the exact same argument that I said that it was from the beginning. So
No,
this is the argument, right?
I want to be self-defeating, please.
So this is the argument, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Holy shit. I don't know why you had to do that fucking 5-minute tangent to pretend that it was a different argument. Okay, so the reason that this argument is self-defeating is that my claim is that any support for P2 will defeat the argument. Okay, and the reason for that is that there are only 2 categories of supports for P2, right? And those 2 categories are, the first category is without reference to God, and the second category is with reference to God. Do you agree that because of the law of excluded middle, that those are the only 2 possible ways to support premise 2?
Support premise 2?
No, that my question was, do you agree that these are the only 2 categories of support for premise 2?
So, like, I'm still trying to understand. So, like, what do you mean by that? Can you, like,
Okay,
simplify?
you know what premise 2 is, right? Objective moral facts exist?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what it would mean to support that premise?
That there would have to be some type of God that gives us those morals.
No. No. Supporting this premise would mean showing that the premise is true. So supporting the premise objective moral facts exist would mean showing that objective moral facts exist. And I'm saying that there are only 2 categories of ways to show that objective moral facts exist. The 2 categories are without reference to God and with reference to God. Because of the law of excluded middle, we can be confident that these are the only 2 categories. I'm just trying to make sure that you agree.
Yeah, I'd say I'd agree with that then.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I'm going to assume that you won't try to support the second premise. You won't try to show that objective morals exist without referring to God. But in the interest of completeness and thoroughness, I'm going to start there. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course, man.
Okay, fantastic. So if you were to try to support premise 2 without referring to God, this demonstrates that P1 is false. Right? Because if you can demonstrate that objective moral facts exist without referring to God, then obviously we shouldn't believe that objective moral facts entail God's existence, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So you're not going to do this. We can't do this, right? Can't do that.
Yeah.
So now the only possible option left to you in order to try to support that second premise is with reference to God. The problem here is that now the argument is circular. Because if you say, circularity, Jesus Christ, the argument is circular. If you say that objective moral facts exist because God exists, when your argument was God exists because objective moral facts exist, right? Because if we use reference to God, then what you're saying is objective moral facts exist because God exists. God exists. But the original argument is God exists because objective moral facts exists. So now what your argument becomes is God exists because objective moral facts exist, and objective moral facts exist because God exists, which reduces to God exists because God exists. So again, the two possible ways to support this second premise are either without reference to God, which demonstrates that the first premise is false and defeats the argument, or with reference to God, which makes the argument circular and defeats it.
Wait, wouldn't that just be like a cherry-picked argument? Because you just put, like, if objective moral facts exist, then God exists, and where you can just say, like I said, so...
This is not what do you mean? What is a cherry-picked argument?
So, like, this argument was cherry-picked for this exact thing.
No, what is a cherry-picked argument?
I just said this. I just said it was cherry-picked, so it could...
No, you can't use the term cherry-picked in the definition of cherry-picked. So what is... Okay, the term you're using is cherry-picked argument. What is the definition of a cherry-picked argument without using the term cherry-picked?
Oh, a cherry-picked argument would be like... Can I use argument in there?
Sure.
Yeah, so it'd be an argument that you use to show that you would be right.
My guy, you brought up this argument. I didn't say, you know what you should do? You should run the moral argument so I can show why it doesn't work. You ran this argument. I initially, when you started giving the moral argument, I knew that's what you were doing. So I tried to cut to the chase and say, is this the argument you're giving? You said yes. I started talking about how easy it is to defeat. And you said, oh, no. That's not the argument. So then you tried to give some other bullshit that you got from ChatGPT or Grok or something. And it was horrible. It wasn't valid. You weren't able to show that it was valid. So then when you tried to reword it to make it work for you, it turned out that the real argument that you were trying to give was just this argument. So I put this argument back on the screen and I asked you, is this the argument you're trying to give? Is this an accurate representation of your argument? And your answer was yes. Yes, this is an accurate representation of my argument. So I did not, you need to stop talking while I'm talking. I did not pick this argument, so of course I couldn't cherry pick this argument. If this argument was cherry picked just to make me look good and make you look bad, you are the one who cherry picked it. So you are the one that made yourself look bad. You are the one that made it look like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So
can we go back to my argument real quick? I just want to
what I need you to do is respond to this. Respond to my demonstration that this argument is self-defeating.
Oh yeah, it is self-defeating, that argument would be, but that's so can we, when we're talking about, you said there was, back to my argument, well, it's not even my argument.
This is your argument, and you agree that it's self-defeating, right?
Yeah, I agree it's self-defeating.
Okay, fantastic. So you're gonna keep giving a self-defeating argument? You want to stick to your self-defeating argument?
No, I'm trying to say
Okay,
something.
fantastic. So why don't we move to a different argument?
Wait, let me just say something real quick. Is that okay?
No, why don't we move to a different argument, or I can just move to another person.
Yeah, I was going back to that argument that I had. But like, I just want to try to see.
Is it valid this time?
Okay,
give the valid argument. I'll write it down.
Tell me how to. You said it.
Give the valid argument. I'll write it down.
No, it's the same argument.
Give the valid argument. I'll write it down.
Do you not have the same argument pulled up that we had?
No, it wasn't valid. You said this time it'll be valid. So you don't want me to pull up.
But I would just explain why it would be valid.
You don't want.
I just want to see something.
Unbelievable. I don't know, like, what you think this is going to do for you. Okay, so your argument was humans experience a moral law, a sense that some actions are objectively right or wrong, which you claimed was P implies Q, and then premise 2, this moral law is objective, which you said was not Q, and then conclusion 1, which objective moral values and duties exist, which you said is not P.
Do what?
That was your argument.
Yeah, that's my argument.
Yeah, you said that this is this is P implies Q, and then you said this is not Q, and then you said this is not P. So in order for that to work, in order for this to be valid like that, you need to tell me what P and Q are. What's P?
Well, I already told you P in premise 1 would be that God does exist or does not exist.
God does not exist. And what is Q?
Q in this sense would just be what would it be like? I guess objective moral values and duties do exist.
Okay, so if your premise was, if your argument was actually P implies, it was actually modus tollens, it would be if God does not exist, then objective, I don't need to capitalize objective, morals and duties exist. Objective morals and duties do not exist. Conclusion, God exists. Do you think that this is the same argument as this?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're telling me what you think is that this sentence, that sentence is the same as the sentence right here. This is what you want us all to believe, is that these two sentences are identical? At least logically identical?
Actually, probably experience more loss since those elections are. Yeah, bro.
Okay, explain how those are logically identical. Enlighten all of us.
So the moral law would be implying that there would be a moral lawgiver. So it's talking about God existing. So if there would be a moral law, there would have to be a moral lawgiver where we get that God would be existing from.
So you got nothing?
I just told you.
No, that had nothing to do with it. What you're supposed to be doing is showing that the sentence, humans experience a moral law, a sense that some actions are objectively right or wrong, is logically identical to the sentence, if God does not exist, then objective morals and duties exist.
Because this one's talking about the moral law, the second one's talking about if God does not exist, then moral duties exist. Wait, objective morals and duties exist. I just told you, so I don't know what you're not getting. Maybe I'm not getting something.
Yeah, clearly you're not getting something. What you need to do is, I don't know, like learn maybe the first thing about philosophy and logic before you try doing this kind of thing. And you're lucky that you came here because I'm an idiot and I'm not any good at this. If you had talked to somebody who's actually good at this, they would have fucking ruined you. You got off easy coming to me with this nonsense. But what I'm going to tell you is that you need to read up on this stuff and don't pretend that you can give, logical arguments just because you read something on fucking, Gemini or some bullshit. I don't know what AI you got this from, but stop doing that.
It's literally from Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. I was just trying his argument out. Maybe I gave the argument wrong, but
yeah, you definitely gave whatever you were trying to do. You did it wrong. That's 100% accurate.
maybe I gotta go hit the books again.
Hit the books again? No, I recommend that you hit the books for the first time. You can't do it again if you've never done it before. What's the name of philosophy book that you've read?
The Moral Elements of Philosophy by James Rachels.
The Moral Elements of...
That was an introduction to moral ethics, and then Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis.
Well, Mere Christianity by... Dude, if you don't know that his name is C.S. Lewis, like, I don't know what... This is mind-boggling how fucking stupid
Well, you don't like that. You don't like that?
Not like saying his name like a moron? Yeah, it's annoying, yes. C.S. Lewis? Really? Like, that's how you think that you say C.S. Lewis's name?
Yeah.
Okay.
First name C, last name says, I think, right?
You fucking moron. Okay. All right. You know what? Fair enough, Kay. You got me. I am only just now, I will admit, to my immense shame, I will admit that I'm only now realizing that you're a troll. So, fair enough. Decent rage bait. I am ashamed that it took me that long to realize that was a troll. Shame on me. Fun times, huh? Pretty sure he's a troll. Hey, thanks, Nobody on Fire. Hey, thanks, Moon. Trying out different stuff here for the stream and trying to improve it, and I'm glad that you feel like this camera angle works. Not the biggest fan of the like black cutout and everything, so hopefully this is all right. I need to call this out. I've been streaming for an hour and haven't said thank you, but a lot of people supporting, and I really appreciate it. Arrow404, Saintly, Lupine, Mikey, 3 Pips, Lem, Poopman Jones. As always, thank you so much. Ken Vorland, KC, Ellipses, what is this? Stoic Mando. Oh, that's cool. Nick, Max Ryan, Bear, or Hi Bear, whatever that is. Sarah, Derby, Saintly again. Nobody on Fire sending a bunch of support. Thank you. Lemonhead supporting a bunch. This fucking camera. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I sincerely appreciate it all. I when I started doing this, it was not even on my radar that I would, have the viewers or the support that I've been getting. And so I sincerely appreciate it from everybody. Thank you. So I will go ahead and move to the next person. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Hi, Waterboy. Are you at least 18?
55-year-old.
Okay. What God do you believe in?
I just want to come up here and say, fuck you. You need to be...
All right. Fair enough. Hi, Bags. Are you at least 18?
Yep.
What God do you believe in God?
Yep.
Which one?
Jesus Christ.
And what's the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
So, if you haven't realized, there has been recent advanced quantum mathematical equations proving that God exists.
Okay. And which scientific journal can I find the paper about this in? What scientific journal can I find the paper about this in?
God exists. Look it up. If you don't believe it,
I'm trying to look it up. Which journal should I be looking in?
Journal.
Yeah, which scientific journal was this published in?
This was done by scientists.
Yeah, which scientist?
Give me a second.
You came up here, this is your argument, and you don't even know the person that it's from? I would run away then, too. I would also run away after saying some stupid shit like that. That guy begged to come up, too. I don't know if you guys noticed in the comments. I saw a little bit while I was having the previous conversation. That dude was begging to come up. And all I had to do... Yeah, he was going to school me. All I had to do was ask for the source. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, good times. Good times. All right. So if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you are... please make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Hi,
Jesus
Devin.
is king, Jesus is king, Jesus is...
Okay, I don't know what you think that's doing for you. Hi, Tyler. Are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 19. I swear, those last two people were like just talking nonsense.
Do you believe in a God?
Yeah, I believe in Jesus Christ.
Okay, and what would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
The Old Testament.
That's not an argument and it's not evidence. What's the best argument or evidence that... What is happening? Everybody's just running away. This is fucking crazy. Oh, man. All right. So if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure... Yeah, Brian, I'm getting the best Christians up here. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Glad to hear it, Rissa. Hi, Minty. Are you at least 18?
I'm 2 years off, but I hope that's okay.
Of course not. Of course it's not okay. Don't come up here if you're a child. Yeah, that's true, Brian. Jesus was not ever a king. There was no point in history when Jesus was a king. Well, Nick, I asked if he was at least 18, and he said 2 years off. 2 years off from being at least 18 means that you're 16. I'm not talking to children. Thanks for the support, Lobes, and Lupine, and Alan. Yeah, I sincerely appreciate it, everybody. Yeah, so if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you are 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe that God exists. Currently don't have anybody requesting. So I read an article today. Maybe an article is not the right word. Yeah, well, like, like a blog post, I think would probably be the right way to say it, about an argument against fine tuning. And yeah, exactly, Barnaby. Barnaby gets it. You can't look at this and think that there's a God. If God exists, why did he make me so fat and ugly and stupid? No good God would have ever done such a thing. No good God would have ever saddled the world with my existence. Let me check one quick thing before I bring up the next guest. Okay. Sam, are you at least 18?
Yes, sir. I'm 19.
Okay. And what God do you believe in?
I believe in Jesus Christ, and I just want to say this. So I heard you say that you said that there's no God because you're fat and you're ugly and you're bald and whatnot.
Okay. Hi, real one. Are you at least 18?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you believe in God?
Yeah. I'm going to say I believe in Jesus or the Bible, the Holy Bible, and you proved it. Not by the last guy, but the last guy before that. And the way you proved that God was real because he has these 10 commandments. And you started with the bottom one, and it's called thou shalt not covet. You just coveted that last dude. I took it the reverse way. He said 2 years off. I was thinking that he was 2 years done from being 18 years old. So he could have been 20 for all I knew. You know
I
what
don't
I'm
know
saying?
what
So
this
you
has to do with
coveted
whether
yourself.
God exists. That has nothing
Well,
to
it
also has
exists
nothing to
'cause
do
you
with
made these
coveting.
rules.
What does the
Yes,
word
it
covet
did.
mean?
What do you think it means?
You're the one using the word. Let me make sure that I understand what you're saying. What does covet mean?
Yearning and
Okay,
a
and what am I
wanting.
yearning for?
You yearn for that dude to be 18 because you said, hey, you're 18 off because of.
Okay. I know that those idiots can be entertaining for folks. Unfortunately, I don't have the patience for that. So you guys are stuck with my stupid shit. You're stuck with me getting rid of people like that. So if you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God. Okay. Hi, are you at least 18?
Join a gym, bro.
How does it feel to lose? How does it feel to lose? How does it feel to lose?
At least I'm not fat.
Fuck.
I'm getting there.
So you only get fat because you have a good lady. That's what happens.
This happens to get married, you know.
Yeah. Or in my case, you start out fat and then you get divorced and you get even more fat.
Wait, instead of getting married, you get fat, but then you get divorced.
Well, I was already fat and then I got married and I stayed fat and then I got divorced and then I got more fat.
Usually when people get divorced or have a breakup, they get in shape.
I got into shape. I did get into a shape. We can see that shape is round.
Well, it's a sphere, right?
Yes, I am very spherical, and no one is more spherical than me. All right. Well, we're gonna see if we can have a conversation. Lobes, here's something that I think about every single time you come up here, or after every time you come up here. After you're gone and I end the stream, I think about, man, Lobes was up there and I didn't let that motherfucker say a single word. I'm such an asshole. So I'm going to bring up the next person and we're actually both going to talk to him. Does that sound all right?
Oh, sure. I mean, well, so it's the sidecar, right? You listen a lot.
Yeah, well, when I'm in your sidecar, I don't shut the fuck up. So
that's just different personalities, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, well, I got lots of strokes. All right, we'll see if we can have a good conversation with Thanos. Hi, are you at least 18?
Hello, yes, I'm 22.
Okay.
Is it okay? My English are not so good because I'm Greek. Is there a problem?
As long as we can understand each other, it'll be okay. If we get to a point where we can't understand each other, then we'll have to end it there. Do you believe in a God?
Okay, thank you. Yes, of course.
Okay. And what God do you believe in?
In Jesus Christ, I'm Christian Orthodox.
Okay. Well, Lobes and I are both atheists. What would be the best argument or evidence that would give us reason to start believing in God?
Okay. I invite you, if you want, to come with me in Mount Athens for 5 days.
Nope.
And if you don't believe, then the debate is over.
No,
It's for free.
no, we're having
you
the
don't need
debate
to
right
pay
now.
for anything. Yes, you want to see action, right? The word doesn't matter. You want to see it with your own eyes, right?
No, I just want an argument or evidence.
Okay. Then That was my point. That was my only point.
What do you think, Lobes? You want to take the offer?
I think it's a pretty good point. Whenever I'm wondering if God exists, I'm just like, I wish someone would invite me an all expense paid trip somewhere for like a nice vacation, and I'll get proof of God out of that somehow. But Thanos, like, I mean, we've got roots laid down where we are, so we can't just take a stranger, on vacation or agree to go on a stranger's vacation. It's not really going to help us find God. It's certainly inconvenient. Do you have any like more convenient of a way? I mean, you said 5 days. Can you at least make it a weekend, or is there something that we can do while we're on the call right now?
Okay, as I said, my English is not that good. I understand your point, and I know you make fun of me. It's okay, I don't have a problem with it. It's very logical, but the logic and the religion are two things that are way different. You can't explain something that is not explained with logic, because the things that I saw when I went in Mount Athens, which
I don't care about that, Thanos. We don't need to talk about Mount Athens anymore. All that matters in this conversation is whether or not you actually have an argument or evidence. Do you have either of those things?
Why does this only matter? You said in the chat that we can have a conversation. Why do you state that?
That's the point of the live stream.
Yeah, this is a debate stream. We're doing debates here, Thanos. So in order to continue the conversation, there are two ways that we can proceed right now. You can begin providing an argument or evidence, or I can move on to the next person. Which way do you want to proceed?
Okay, move on to the next person.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good one. Yeah. Well, we did it, Lobes. Technically we both talked to him.
We did. I mean, that was pretty riveting. Maybe he didn't hear your criteria for coming up. So maybe chop that up to a language barrier.
It could be.
Doesn't mean anything to me because I'm Greek.
Look at the mountain instead of look at the trees. Both sides said. Yeah, that sounded like that was about it.
Just redo the entire look at the trees video, but it's with a mountain, added a mustache on or something.
Brian, I'm still more spherical than you, so don't even come at me with that nonsense. All right. So, if you are in the guest queue, or if you're thinking about joining the guest queue, make sure that you are 18 plus, that you believe in a God, and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in that God. I sense, are you at least 18?
Oh, yeah, it was about that 9th commandment you just broke. Yeah, I had to get on
Really?
because you're such a coward.
Oh,
You
yeah,
had to
I'm
kick
such
me
a
out.
coward. Oh,
You
I'm such a
did. You
coward.
kicked
Do
me
you
out
have an
because you couldn't
argument? Do you have
listen.
evidence?
I did. I showed you evidence.
You
and
didn't
kicked
give
me
any
out quick.
evidence. You didn't give.
Bullshit. Are you serious? You coveted that dude. You bared false witness on him. Are you serious?
I bared
Dude, you
false
covered
witness on
people
him.
all the time when you kick him off and you don't have no common sense to listen. And then you get your boyfriend on here? That's why you got divorced.
I should be so lucky to have a
Let's get-
boyfriend like
yeah.
Lobes.
Well,
it's. I mean, it's
yeah.
like it's just. We're
But he
being
probably has
festive,
another
you know,
guy,
it's
so that's
holiday
probably why
season.
what's going on is you wish you had him as your boyfriend, right?
I know, like we're.
So let's
we're
go
a
ahead and
thing.
talk about those commandments again that you broke to prove to me that
Oh,
God's
really?
real.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet if you quote the Bible more, I'll start believing in God. Maybe, man, maybe you
Thou
just
shalt
find the
not
right quote.
covet. What is that?
Oh
That's
my
the
God,
10th
thou shalt
commandment.
not covet.
What is that?
Oh,
Thou shalt not bear false witness.
my
What you
mind is
just did.
blown.
You
Oh my
proved
God,
was
God
real
must
by
really
bearing
exist.
false
Oh
witness.
man,
You
holy
know
shit,
that,
I can't
right?
believe it. People are so
We should
fucking
make up
stupid.
some. You should start quoting the Eunice commandments. in
Oh, I
response to that guy.
know. Oh,
That would have been perfect.
If I was smart, I would have found all of I almost said Lobes, Lupine's commandments and stuff that he's posted in the server.
Are they called commandments, or are they just called like, something else like ways or something?
Oh, I don't remember what Lupine said. It was fun. I really like the. You know what? We're gonna
Love the investment.
We're gonna discuss Unitarianism for a moment here.
You're breaking the rules of my made up God. That proves that God is real. What the fuck?
Yeah, obviously. Where are we at? Unitarian dogma. So, where are we at here? Thou shalt not take the name of Eunice in vain, save when the jest is righteous and it bringeth forth many lulls. And thou shalt honor the glitter and the gas, for by these were the heavens made, and the earth also, and all creatures, great, small, and mildly suspicious. I don't think.
Hey, so I think my interpretation of that passage right there is that like what we should really be doing is glitter bombing our undies before we go out somewhere so that we can have the glitter in the gas. But that's just my, I hope it's not like eisegesis. I'm trying to pull from the actual what the author likely meant, you know?
Well, I mean, who knows?
What do you think?
Who knows with the inscrutable ways of magical universe farting unicorns, really. Okay.
Deep.
All right. Well, we're gonna see if we can actually have a conversation, or if 12 is not just the username, but this person's age as well. Hopefully they're 18 plus and actually have some kind of argument. How old are you?
Oh, that's me. 34.
Okay. Do you believe in God?
I do.
Cool.
I believe in the Christian God.
Perfect. That was my next question. What would you, Lobes and I were both atheists. What would you say is the best argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in a God?
So I got 2 different points. First, I want to start with the historical looking at it. So if God really does exist, he would have to make himself known. As Christians, we believe that he done that through his son, which he sent as himself in flesh through Jesus. And Jesus,
yeah, this is all just the claim, 12. I'm already aware of what Christians believe. I was a Christian, so I don't need you to tell me what Christians believe in. I need you to give me the argument or the evidence that the things Christians believe in are true.
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay, well, I don't want you to get to it. I want you to start there and only talk about that.
Okay, I'm sorry that the beginning of your sentence interrupted the middle of mine, but through that was pretty good, wasn't it?
I saw that on a meme. I think
I've been saying it all night, Lobes. I got it from you.
He's been saying it all night.
I have been. The problem is, though, 12, is that this is my life, and the rules here are that we focus only on substance. We don't do meta. We don't do long, rambling introductions to our arguments. We get right to the point. So get right to the point.
So the point is that multiple people have witnessed Jesus, have documented it, and to the point that they took it to their death. So if he was
so we have that in all religions. This is not evidence for your religion. If every time someone claims that they have an experience with a supernatural entity that demonstrates the existence of that supernatural entity, then that means that not only is Jesus real, but Allah is real, and Krishna is real, and Thor and Odin are real, and Loki's real, and Quetzalcoatl is real, and every other god that, Vishnu and Brahma and every other spiritual being.
Variety pack.
Yeah, exactly. They're all real. I don't think that you want to, unless you want to say that all of those are also real, this isn't evidence for your position.
So I will admit that, some of those, even Buddha was a real person, but
that wasn't what I said. That's not what I said.
Was not the Allah was a real person.
No, Allah isn't a real person.
Was not the true God that come back from the dead. Jesus was crucified.
Do you agree? Do you agree that the Hindu gods are real?
I believe that some of them were real people.
No. Do you believe that the Hindu gods are real gods?
So, like, which one?
My question is, do you believe that the Hindu gods are real gods?
Well, you're making gods as plural, which means you're referring to.
No, I'm talking about all Hindus.
Do you think Brahma is a real god?
No, I do not. I believe that's a figurative. Like some people worship the god of the sky.
But there are lots of people who have had real experiences with Brahma and say that they know that he's real. So if you're saying that people having experiences with Jesus proves that Jesus really is God, then the Hindus who've had experiences with Brahma prove that Brahma is real. So either I'm sorry that the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours, but either it's going to be either Brahma is a real god, or the evidence that you presented isn't evidence for your position. So those are the two options. Which of those do you want to take?
Well, Brahma is actually a breed of cattle.
Okay,
but,
so
we'll
12.
say that he's not a god.
Okay. So your two options now, and if you say anything other than option 1 or option 2, I'm just going to drop you. Option 1, Brahma is a real god. Option 2, this is the evidence that you presented is not evidence for your position. You can unmute yourself and say, I want option 1 or I want option 2. But you got to unmute yourself. Do.
There we go. Sorry, I was trying to
Option
figure out how to
1 or
unmute
option
myself.
2?
Neither one of those is
Okay.
true. I mean, option
Then
one
don't
is
come
not
back.
real.
I would like to send a special thank you to 12, though, for having a voice that is just as cowboy as the profile picture. That was a nice touch.
Fair
I
enough.
didn't want to. I know we're not doing meta, so I didn't want to like spoil it there. But I was like thrilled to hear him start to speak. It reminded me of like I need to get ready for Toy Story 5. They're raising the rating on that one. They're breaking the G rating for the first time in like 20 years. It's gonna get serious.
Whoa.
I know. It's getting like, it's like it's probably going through its dark arc. You know how like a series will go through a darkness once it's been on for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I watch horror movies, so I don't know shit about Toy Story. I think I watched the first Toy Story back when it came out. When I was a kid.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Were you even alive
so you
then?
get the
You probably weren't even alive then.
When it came out, it was no. I think it came out around the time I was born. I don't know the exact year it came out. I don't think it's as old. I don't think it's quite as old as me.
Ooh. I think that might be around the same time. It came out in November of 95.
Oh yeah, I'm a month older than the franchise.
That's hilarious. All right. We're going to see if we can have an actual conversation here. Wishmaster. The first Wishmaster is fun. I think that one's fun. Actually, I should add that to my watch list with the lady. All right. We're going to see if we can have an actual conversation here. If you're in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you're 18 plus and that you have some kind of argument or evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in God. Both sides, it sounds like you and I are almost the same age. You might be like a year older than me. Okay, we'll see if we can talk to Papa J. Hi, Jay. Are you at least 18? Yeah, that's about the best that the Christians have. All right.
We usually want to build up to like the admission that they're racist. I mean, it's kind of like it spoils the fun when you just get. We need a little bit of foreplay first. I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, I don't know. I don't mind them letting us know right away.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like you wanna like hope. Sorry. I couldn't keep saying.
Lupine, it sounds like you're almost exactly 3 years older than me. I was born end of 85. I'm old. Okay, so if you are in the guest queue or thinking about joining, please make sure that you're 18 plus. And the only person who's requesting just left. Unfortunate.
So what's your best argument or evidence to provide justification that a God is real? Over.
Well, so it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy in my fifis.
No, seriously. I
have thought, like, 'cause sometimes
that's not evidence.
Sometimes people will
That's
ask.
evidence.
Sometimes people ask, what I think the best argument is or whatever, and I never know what to say because there aren't any good arguments.
Right. It's like asking what's the best tasting shit. It's like,
Right.
well, this one has some corn in it, or this one has some peanut butter in it, but it's still shit. I mean, I feel like the teleological argument is categorically the best one, just because it's the only one that even hints at the thing being personal necessarily. Right? The other one's like the cosmological argument. It just gets you to like a first cause. The transcendental argument just gets you to something that's transcendental, not necessarily God. But the teleological argument seems to like be deliberate about having a personal intelligence doing the thing.
I don't know. I mean, my issue is that okay, here we go. Sorry, need to okay. So my issue, like, I know a lot of people say that the fine-tuning argument is the best one, but I just don't understand that because, like, I think that it relies on so many unjustifiable assumptions.
What do you think is the best formulation of it?
The fine-tuning argument?
Yeah. Obviously, it would involve the constants and not something like biology.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be, like, I don't even know, to be honest with you. I think that it's all shit. I mean, there is, well, okay, so the one person on here who does a decent job on TikTok with the fine-tuning argument is Hegel fan. I was DMing with him about the argument, and then he's like, well, don't you stream? Couldn't we talk sometime? And I was like, yeah, cool, but he has never had the opportunity to come up here, unfortunately, so I haven't had to gotten to have the conversation. But he seems somebody who is very knowledgeable, who does know what he's talking about, and I would be happy to have that conversation with him, but just haven't had the opportunity.
It sounds like the text version of I'm going through a tunnel. Like, oh, I can end the conversation by saying that I'm going to go up on his live, and then just never go up on his live.
Well, I mean, that could be that he just didn't want to talk to me anymore. Because, like, I know that he does go on other people's lives and discuss the fine-tuning argument, so maybe I'm just too low tier to waste the time on. I don't know. What could I possibly do about it, But yeah, currently don't have anybody requesting. So if you guys can get some, tap the screen, get some likes and shares and those kinds of things, I would appreciate it. Get us in the algorithm, bring some people in, and hopefully actually have some conversations. That's definitely the goal here. Hopefully we can actually talk about the topic. I think I've run through my new fine-tuning argument. What is this one? What was that other one? Oh, I didn't really get to run it. Like, really. Hey, maybe you can help me with this. I'm going to try to shorten this fucker up.
Let's shrink it.
Yeah.
Let's make it cold in here.
Yeah. This one.
That's why people say it's cool, because it's okay.
Yeah. If God exists, he's necessary and ultimate. If God's necessary, then he couldn't have been different. I mean, do I just do little things like changes to couldn't? It could have been different. If the universe
couldn't have, you want to do the double apostrophe thing?
Couldn't have. Oh no. Could not have. Couldn't have been different. If the universe could. Oh, maybe we'll get it. This is the only thing I'm gonna be able to do is fucking contractions. If the universe could have been different, then something that could have.
This seems like so informal when you do the could have, though.
I know. I hate it. All right, we're going back. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Here we go. Okay, so if God exists, he's necessary and ultimate. If God's necessary, then he could not have been different. If the universe could have been different, then something that could have been different was involved in its creation. If something that could have been different was involved in the universe's creation, and God could not have been different, then something other than God was involved in its creation. If God is ultimate, then nothing other than God was involved in the creation of the universe. So then if the universe could have been different, God doesn't exist. I don't really know a way to shorten that one up. That other one, I think it was, when you said shorten it up, it was pretty easy to find ways to shorten it up, but I don't know about this one.
The universe could have been different, and something that could have been different was involved in its creation. If something that could have been different was involved in the universe's creation, and God could not have been different, then something. Well, let me see. I'm trying to see, like, if God could not have been different is already in a premise earlier.
Well, it's important.
Okay.
It's important that that both of these things have to be true in order for this to follow.
What if you instead of saying could not have been different, if God could not have been different, you say if God is necessary, because in premise 2 you say if God is necessary, then it follows that he could not have been different.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know, because I just want to stick with the like because it's like I have the oh, do you want to see the most fun? Want to see the inference rule for this fucking beast?
Oh.
That's the inference rule.
Jeez.
For all x, if x is g, then x is n and x is u. For all x, if x is g and n, then x is not d. If u is d, then there exists an x such that x is c and x is d. If there exists an x such that x is c and d, and for all y, if y is g, y is not d, then there exists a z such that z is not g and z is c. If there exists an x such that g is x and u, then there doesn't exist a y such that y is not g and c at the same time. So then the conclusion, if u is d, then there doesn't exist an x that is g.
Learning the symbolic logic is really fun. I have not practiced it enough to remember most of these symbols.
So this upside down A is the universal quantifier. So that's like for all. So
you're right.
This universal X just means for all X's, this is true, right?
Mhm.
Arrows just implies this is and. This is
What's
the
the
existential.
What's backwards E?
Existential quantifier.
Oh, if
So
it
it's just-
exists.
yeah, there exists an X such that, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. This took me. I actually had I had a different version of this argument, and I was trying to translate it into quantified logic like this, and while trying to translate it into quantified logic, I realized that the other argument that I had didn't work, and so then I sat and stared at the translation for like 20 fucking minutes, and then
Basked in its glory.
Yeah, well, I saw a comment that distracted me. I had this other argument and stared at the translation for like 20 minutes and was like, why how do I make this work? And then this argument just like kind of hit me. So far I think I've run it twice and people have just run away from it. Okay, we'll see if we can have a conversation here.
It sort of is hearkening to modal collapse.
Well, yeah, that was what I was thinking about when I wrote it,
Mhm.
because so many people have been talking about contingency, so I just really wanted to put my own argument together instead of always having to deal with their arguments, because it gets annoying after a while approaching it the same way. But yeah, so if you are in the guest queue or wanting to join, make sure you're 18 plus and have some kind of argument or evidence. Hi, Minty, are you at least 18?
What was that?
Are you at least 18?
I'm not at least 18, but can we just
Okay, fair enough.
My finger hovers over the button too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Just in case.
Yeah, exactly. D melody child. Fair enough. Yeah, so don't currently have anybody requesting that I can actually talk to. I mean, 12 is in the request box, but I have no idea why I would try to talk to 12 again. Do you want to talk to 12?
I mean, if there's nobody else, I guess if you're down to.
I'm going to let Lobes talk to you, 12, and see if you guys can get anywhere.
Oh, you're Shane
What's up,
now.
man? Yeah, I didn't realize my
Hey,
name showed up as 12.
Yeah, is that like how many kids you have, or like
No,
it's not
just-
how old you are?
Just two. Hey, I do have a horse to go with the accent though, so if that counts for anything.
A bullseye, awesome. Yeah, that's really like on brand.
So I
Sweet tea.
got a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying like sweet tea, just trying to relate.
Oh yeah, had sweet tea tonight.
Yeah,
So
I know.
with I got a question. So if you believe that God doesn't exist, how do you explain people that have a real life experience, or a life altering experience with God, such as a healing, or like I know people that's had a healing where they feel a warmth during prayer in the spot that was ailing them, and that's also a medical thing that if somebody gets healed in a certain area that they feel a warmth. How do you explain that without the being of a God?
Yeah, that's a placebo. Easy. God can never regrow a limb, right, or cure cancer without like a doctor's involvement or something like that. The miracles that people experience always have some other potential natural explanation, and that's why they can even conceivably exist in our reality. Yeah, and we also have people of all walks of faith claiming to experience these things. Necessarily, the majority of them are not true, and if the majority of them cannot be true, then it would be very difficult to pinpoint which one, if any of them, actually is true.
Right. Well, like for example, I know personally a guy that had broken his leg, had an X-ray, had the X-rays proving the leg was broke. We had prayer over him at church that next day that he come home with the cast. He cut the cast off that night, returned to the doctor, and the bone was back together with X-rays proving that. How would you explain that?
Well, I mean, I'd have to speak to the doctor. I'd have to see the x-rays myself. I mean, I could tell you a story of something that happened that was miraculous, and you would have no way to verify anything. I mean, I couldn't speculate, but it would just be speculation. I mean, maybe it wasn't that bad of a break. Maybe it was a false diagnosis, and there was a hair on the screen or something. Don't know. It could have been anything.
Well, hold on now. I'm sorry to butt in on your guys' conversation here, but
No, come on.
I actually, so when I was younger, I have this. You guys probably can't see it. No, you can't see it. I have this really big scar on my thumb because I punched some glass because I was really smart when I was a teenager, and when I pulled my hand back, it like sliced my thumb open to the bone. It was really bad. Like genuinely, you could see the bone and everything. I didn't go to the doctor. I just wrapped it up in a bandage, and the next day it was healed. Eunice healed it. So that means that Eunice, the universe farting unicorn, is real, right?
Does it fart glitter?
No,
It
she
could have been the glitter part.
no, she farted the universe. Now it was a glittery
She
fart.
farted the universe.
Yeah, she farted out. That's why she's called Eunice, the universe farting unicorn.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So she is the creator of the universe. She ate a spicy hypotenuse one day. It gave her a little rumbly in her tumbly, and she farted out the universe. And that's why we have math and logic. They're grounded in the hypotenuse that gave Eunice that rumbly tumbly that led to our universe. So since Eunice, since I had a personal experience and she healed I wish you could see the scar. You could kind of see it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Well, I've got
gnarly
one
if you
too,
could see it in real
actually.
life.
I wonder if I can show you. I've got the same story. Hang on a second.
But yeah, so I have this really big scar there that's proof that it happened. Eunice healed me.
Can you see that? The little dimple right there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a scar too on the thumb where I was cut, and it was healed.
From the
by
farting
Eunice.
unicorn?
Yes.
Yeah, Eunice healed both of our thumbs. I mean, that
And I
couldn't
didn't even need to believe.
That
I
couldn't-
didn't even need to believe at the time.
it couldn't possibly be a coincidence. So obviously, since we both had our thumbs healed by Eunice, that means Eunice is real, right?
Eunice must
How you
drink the
explain
same coffee that I do because I get that way in the mornings.
Yeah. So Eunice is
You
real
you,
then, right?
Perform healing miracle.
That means Eunice is real, right?
I don't think Eunice is real because I think you said that Eunice is something that you had made up, correct?
Well, hold on. If you're saying that you have multiple people in front of you talking to you right now, claiming that they were healed by this supernatural being, and you're saying that's not enough evidence for you to believe in it?
Right, but didn't you say that you created Eunice?
No,
Didn't that
Eunice
something you
created
said?
the universe. How could I possibly create Eunice when Eunice created the universe and I'm part of the universe?
Right, but I thought you said that Eunice was something that you wrote, and because you wrote it, that mean it was true. Is that right?
Being a prophet of God does not mean you made the God. He experienced divine revelation.
Yeah, just
This is
because
like even Christians have this stuff.
Yeah, and there are multiple prophets. My good friend Lupine Lunatic has also received revelation from Eunice. If you join my Discord, which I don't think you will, and that's fine, but if people join my Discord, they would be able to see that there is all kinds of stuff, revelation that Loop has received from Eunice. So we have multiple people receiving revelation. We have multiple people claiming healing events in the experiences with Eunice. So does that mean that Eunice is real? Or does it mean that just because somebody claims something doesn't mean it's true?
Right, but I'm saying, didn't you say that you wrote Eunice, and because you wrote it, that means it's true? Because that was your argument over the prophecies of Christ, right?
Yeah,
to respond to the answer of that question.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, 12. Let's imagine that it's some other religion. Like, let's just pretend for argument's sake that, I don't know, there were Muslims who said that Allah had healed them. Or let's pretend for argument's sake that there were Norse pagans who said the Norse gods had healed them. Or Wiccans who said that the mother god had healed them. Or, all the people in every other religion, the Hindus who claim that Hindu gods healed them. Those things are all very, very real. Those people all very, very much believe in the things that they're claiming healed them, and they all have the exact same kind of evidence for their stories that you have for yours. So I think that this is what Lobes was getting at earlier, and I think it's a fantastic question. If we have people from every religious tradition in the world and people from outside religious traditions all telling us that they have personal experiences, some including healing, others not, that demonstrate to them that their spiritual beliefs are true, but we know that the spiritual beliefs all contradict each other, so they can't all be true. How do we tell which ones to believe and which ones not to believe?
So it's not quite as complicated as what you make it out to be. You've got these other gods that are dead gods. I mean, even
that's a claim. That's just a claim. Your position is from inside your worldview, you think that all those gods are false or dead or whatever. What I'm saying is, from my perspective, not being inside of any of those worldviews, how do I tell without already believing that I know which God is real?
Well, I mean, you do know because you used to walk this life, and I don't know if it was.
I need you to actually answer the question and not make other claims like you can read my mind. So just tell me what it means, or how I can tell the difference between who is telling the truth and whose God really exists versus whose doesn't. What's the tool that I can use?
Do you have documented evidence of
what's the tool that I can use?
Okay, the internet is a tool.
What do I do on the internet that will tell me which ones of these claims are true about true gods and which ones are about false gods?
So do you feel like you're losing the argument? Is that why you start talking over people?
No, I'm talking over you because you're pivoting away from the point and you're not engaging. And I don't have patience for pivoting and lack of engagement. So if you want to have, this is why, I was trying to let Lobes talk and then I butted in and now it's turning into one of my conversations. Here's the thing. Anybody can assert anything. People asserting things doesn't give us reason to believe it. Now, if it's like a normal thing, like if you told me you had a ham sandwich for lunch today, I would probably just believe you. I would probably take it on the claim alone. Claim's probably a fine piece. If you told me, like earlier when you told me that you have a horse, I believe that you have a horse. I don't care. I'll take your claim as sufficient evidence. However, when the claim is something like a God exists or, bones were healed overnight or any of those kinds of things, it's going to take a lot more evidence for me to believe that. So I need the evidence. And the thing is, any evidence that would be sufficient to convince me that, the Christian God really does heal people would also have to be sufficient evidence that shows that all the other people who claim to have similar experiences with other supernatural beings are wrong. So you need to provide evidence that can show that those claims are all wrong and your claims or the claims associated with your God are true.
So I don't think I can send you pictures of x-rays through this live feed. So how do you want me to, over a phone, provide you with physical evidence that you can look at?
Yeah, just assume that all the other ones also have physical evidence, and you're going to tell me the tool that I can use to determine which claims to believe and which ones not to.
Well, I don't know what tool you would want other than physical evidence.
Well, whatever tool you have that allows you to determine that all those other claims that have the same kind of evidence aren't true, but yours are. How did you determine that?
I guess I can send it to you through Messenger. Is
No,
that right?
no, that's not. I'm saying
I mean,
just assume. I'm going to assume that your evidence, your physical evidence, is real, and then we also have to assume that there's exact same kind of evidence for the claims from other gods. So, assuming that they all have the same evidence, how do I tell which ones are about real gods and which ones are about dead or fake gods?
well, I guess the best way to go through would be personal experience. Try on both.
Okay, so what you're saying is that I can't actually confirm whether or not God exists unless I have a personal experience of my own?
Oh, I mean, that's one way to look at it.
Is
But
that what you're
I
saying?
mean,
Yes or no?
yes. So why
Okay,
don't you
fantastic.
try?
So,
What,
where
hey, can I
is
say something
my
before you cut me off?
what I want to know is that is does God want to have a relationship with all of us? Like, does he want us all to go to heaven if we can?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic.
What
So
do you
I
think,
think
Lobes?
here's what's gonna Lobes is still here. What the fuck?
Yeah, still here. What's your thoughts on that, man?
I'm just
I
kidding.
mean,
I'm
do
just
you
kidding.
What does God want?
no? Do you
I don't
believe
think
that
that God
God
wants
would?
anything.
Do you think that He would want to have a relationship with everybody?
No, of course not. That's like me. It's like if I wanted to have a relationship with an ant, I can't get any stimulation from that. And God, the difference between me and an ant is to me and God is like even further than me with an ant. You know what I mean? Like we can't do anything for God. It's useless.
Well, this is the argument that I'd like to run through really quickly here. If you're saying the only way to confirm God's existence is through personal experience, and my claim is that if anyone wants to have or if God wants everyone to have a relationship with him, then he has a reason to give everyone a personal experience. God does want everyone to have a relationship with him, according to you. So if God is real, he always does what he has reason to do. However, God has not given everyone a personal experience, like myself. So that it leads us to the conclusion that God's not real.
But didn't you used to proclaim to be a Christian?
Yeah, I was a Christian. Yep.
So that was not a personal experience that you had with Him during that time?
I'm aware. What's that, Lobes?
So that's just a result of indoctrination.
Right. Yeah, I realized that the experiences that I was having that I thought had to do with God or Jesus or whatever are the exact same kind of experiences that I can still now have when like watching live music or something like that. Hey, Philo Dragon, good to see you.
It's a pretty cool name.
Yeah, Philo Dragon's cool as fuck. But
what
I
was
want you
the
to engage with this
difference?
argument here, 12. So
Okay.
you said that the only way to confirm God's existence is through personal experience. You also said that God wants everyone to have a relationship with him. So we know that you agree with those two. So then I just need to know whether you disagree with any of the other three. Do you agree that if God wants everyone to have a relationship with him, then he has a reason to give everyone a personal experience?
Yes, and I
Okay,
also believe
fantastic.
that everyone.
And do you agree that if God is real, he always does what he has reason to do?
He always. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Like, if God has a reason to do something, he'll do it, right? Like, he doesn't just ignore when he has a reason to do something. Like, for example, he had a reason to create the universe, so he created the universe. He had a reason, according to your view, to oh shit, thanks, Joshua. He had a reason, according to your viewpoint, to send his son to Earth to die for everyone's sins, whatever. So it seems like if the Christian God is good, then he'll do the good things he has reason to do. Do you agree that God does the things that he has reason to do?
Yes, but
Okay.
we might not always see it as good.
Yeah, that's fine. But you agree that if God is real, he always does what he has reason to do, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, since I know that God hasn't given me a personal experience, I know that God hasn't given everyone a personal experience, because obviously if he had given everyone a personal experience, I would have had one. So what that means is that God can't possibly be real, right? We're saying if God is real, he's given everyone a personal experience. He hasn't given everyone a personal experience, and through the power of modus tollens, God isn't real.
So with that, everybody's given an opportunity. He knocks at the door. So at some point, because you claim to have once been a Christian, he did give you that opportunity. If you rejected it,
Nope.
that's on you.
Going to the door with like a feather or something and then running away just in case we heard it.
Say that again about the feather. I missed that part.
It sounds like he's knocking on the door with a feather and then running away just in case we actually heard the feather, right? Like, I mean, if he really wants us to understand that he's knocking at our door, he's going to knock on the door loud enough that we know that there's a call and wait for us to answer the door and confirm that it's him behind the door and make it really obvious, right?
Well,
But he's not. It seems like he's playing peekaboo, right? It seems like he's kind of toying with our eternal souls like it's some kind of game.
Well, the thing to remember is that if God exists, God knows what kind of experience he would need to give me in order for me to believe that it's God. And you said that we all agreed that if God exists, then he has a reason to give me that kind of experience. So the fact that and we also agreed that he does what he has reason to do. So the fact that he knows what kind of personal experience I need to believe and would give me that experience if he was real, the fact that I haven't had that experience tells us that he's not real.
Right, but you claim to have at once been a Christian, correct?
I was a Christian. I'm not claiming to have been a Christian. I was a Christian.
Okay, so you was a Christian. So at some point you did answer that knock. So you did hear him at one point.
No.
Because you followed him.
No, the reason I stopped being a Christian was because I realized that it was all bullshit. When I was 15 years old, I actually thought about whether or not what I believed was true. I gave myself permission in my own mind to think about and to research what is true without first assuming what the conclusion would be. And genuinely, as soon as I gave myself permission to do that, to actually seek truth without assuming what the answer would be, it took me like 10 minutes to stop being a Christian. Because the only thing that was keeping me Christian was believing it because I had been taught it and because I wanted it to be true. As soon as I decided I cared more about what was actually true than what I wanted to be true, I stopped being a Christian.
So what you're saying is you used your free will to no longer be a Christian. So you chose to no longer be a Christian, correct?
No, incorrect. I chose to care about whether or not my beliefs were justified.
Gotcha. So under your free will, you chose to do that, right?
I mean, it depends on what you mean by free will.
Free will is you do something freely, like nobody's holding
that's
something.
not informative.
Threatening.
Whatever. Let's just assume that free will is real and that I made that choice. That the only reason that I could make that choice is because I genuinely don't have reason to believe that God is real, which means that God didn't give me the personal experience that he would need to give me in order for me to have reason to believe that he's real. If God exists, he would have given me that personal experience, so that means that he doesn't exist. So what you need to do is actually respond to that argument.
What argument?
The argument that I just gave you. The argument that I'm giving you is that if God is real, he would have given everyone a personal experience so that they know that he's real. He hasn't given me a personal experience so that I know that he's real. Therefore, he's not real.
So for 15 years of your life, you did have that experience.
No, I didn't. I don't know why you have to, like, I need you, Shane, I need you to actually engage with what I'm saying, not try to tell me that something that I know is false about myself is true. So just actually engage with the argument. Don't try to read my mind. Don't try to tell me what you think I did or didn't believe. Just engage with the argument.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to
but you're not doing that.
No, I just said I'm not trying to read your mind. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, because you said that at one point,
that's not important. Shane, that's not important. We don't need to talk about my past again. All we need to talk about is why it is, or how you get out of this dilemma that you're in. Because here's the dilemma. I'll put it up on the screen. Here's a simplified version. If God is real, he's given everyone a personal experience. He hasn't given everyone a personal experience. Therefore, he's not real.
Okay. So if he is not real, we'll go off C there. So we're going to say God isn't real, just as you've typed it. So if
the debate's over.
That means that you walked away from nothing. So
correct. I stopped believing in a falsity. Correct.
No, so you stopped believing in nothing, because if he was not real, what are you claiming you stopped believing in?
Yeah, I believed in a fictional character, like you can see above my head where it says God is fiction. I believed that a fictional thing was real, and then when I realized it was fiction, I stopped believing in it. Just like how kids believe in Santa Claus. Great point, Philodragon. Lots of kids believe in Santa Claus, and then as soon as they realize that Santa Claus isn't actually real, they stop believing in him. That's a possible thing that people do all the time. You know that there are people who used to be Muslim that believed in the Muslim version of God, and then they stopped believing in that fictional thing, and they started believing in the Christian God, which you think is real. You know that people do that. So this like incredulity that how did you stop believing in something? People stop believing in fictional things all the time. That doesn't mean that they're not fictional. So what I need you to do, Shane, is actually engage with the argument, not do this running away nonsense.
I thought, okay. So if they left, like you said,
Nope, this isn't engaging with the argument. I need you to engage with the argument. The only things you should be talking about are these things that are on the notepad here. That's it. If you talk about anything else, I'm dropping you.
Okay, if God is real, he's given everyone a personal experience. He hasn't given everyone a personal experience. God isn't real. So on those points, you don't really give any kind of argumentatively space to leave there. So like, he has given everybody, if they've reached the age of
I haven't gotten a personal experience, Shane. I'm 40 years old. I haven't gotten one. So obviously you can't argue with premise 2 because you would have to read my mind in order to do that. You said you're not going to try to read my mind, so you can't argue with that. So now what you have to say is that that for some reason, if God was real, he wouldn't give everyone a personal experience. But I think the only way you're going to be able to say that is if you go back on the stuff you said before.
But you don't want me to go back to that stuff because that's obviously hitting a nerve with you.
Oh my fucking God. What I'm saying is you agreed to the premises that led to this, right? The original argument that I gave was this longer argument. The only way to confirm God's existence is through personal experience. You agreed with that. If God wants everyone to have a relationship with him, then he's got reason to give everyone a personal experience. You agreed with that. Premise 3, God wants everyone to have a relationship with him. You agreed with that. Premise 4, if God is real, he always does what he has reason to do. You agreed with that. Premise 5, you can't argue without pretending to read my mind, and you said you wouldn't do that, so you must agree that God has not given everyone a personal experience. So the conclusion is that God is real. So now your only way, so here, we'll get rid of...
You admit that God is real.
We'll get rid of this.
That's your conclusion, that God is real?
No, God is not real. I don't know if maybe you forgot how to read, if like farm life is taking a toll on your brain or what, but it says God is not real.
Farm life does take a toll on you for sure.
Sure. So my conclusion here is God is not real, based on the premises that you've agreed to. So now your only options to get out of this argument, and you have two options. Either you can just reject logic and tell everyone that you're an irrational person and you don't care about whether or not things are true, or you can say that this argument doesn't follow a valid inference rule, and you can try to expose, some invalidity in the argument. Which of those do you want to do?
So can we agree to disagree on this point and go to a different point here?
If we're agreeing to anything on this point, we're agreeing that God is not real. Are you prepared to agree that God is not real?
No, I can't agree with you on that.
Okay, so then you have two ways of rejecting this argument. You need to do one of those two things. So your three options total are to tell everyone you're an irrational person and reject logic. Your second option is to point out a problem with the inference in this argument. And then your third option is to agree that God isn't real.
So first you said I have two options, but then you read three options.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm updating it to three because I didn't include I didn't originally include the third option that you could admit that God isn't real.
Well, that's not really an option because he is.
That's fine. So then you only have those first two options. You either reject logic or you reject the inference.
So let's reject your logic for now.
Okay. What's the problem with the inference of this argument?
With the inference of it? Explain that. I'm a small tone person. I can't do big words.
So, an inference is just like, I don't even know how to explain it. Just the connection between ideas that you agree with to a conclusion, right? So, like, for example, a really easy way to see an inference would be like, all men are mortal, and then Socrates is a man. So then we could easily draw from that, we could infer Socrates is mortal, right? Do you understand?
Do
you understand?
Not sure what Socrates is.
Socrates is a philosopher from like ancient Greece.
Okay.
So right. Yeah, so if I said all men are mortal, Shane is a man. Shane is mortal.
I'm glad you said that during June.
If this is supposed to be some transphobia, you can fuck off with that.
No, it's not. Not at all.
Okay, so agree that trans women are women and trans men are men.
Do what now?
Are trans women women?
I believe, like the Bible says, man is man, woman is woman. But
that's not yep, I know. And trans women are women and trans men are men. Are trans women women?
Women is women.
Are trans women women? Yes or no?
No, a woman
Okay.
is a woman, a man.
Fair enough. As soon as you start spouting transphobia and shit like that, you can get right the fuck out of here. I don't have any patience for that. Not even a second's worth of patience for that. Good times. Okay, so since people in the comments want to be assholes, a woman, because it is a thing that can be defined, a woman is a person whose gender identity aligns with the social, behavioral, cultural, and or physical characteristics that they associate with femininity. That is what a woman is. Pretty simple. It's not that complex. And if you don't know the difference between sex and gender, then you shouldn't be having conversations about sex and gender. What the fuck? Yes, I checked my notes so that I didn't say the wrong definition. I'm sorry that I don't have every definition of every word in my head. Quick, Rebel, rattle off every word in the dictionary. Define every word. Hi, are you at least 18?
Hello, I'm 19, and just to start off, because I get kicked in every time like I join a live because they think I'm below. So I was born in 2007, just to make that clear.
All right, well, you don't have to keep harping on how old I am.
Yeah, okay, I was just saying that because every time I got into a debating live, I got kicked off before I said anything. So
And
let's
God
just
do you
get
believe
to
in?
the point. What?
What God do you
What
believe
God? I believe in God, one God.
in? That doesn't answer my question. I need you to actually answer the question that we were asked.
You're asking what God?
Mm-hmm.
You mean the religion or?
Which one?
Yeah, of the gods that people have believed in throughout history, which one is the one that you believe in?
The God of Abrahamic religions.
Okay, but that's ambiguous.
Which one?
I need you to give me an unambiguous answer. This is your
How
last
is it
opportunity. You're about to get
ambiguous?
kicked again.
We don't know
The
if
God
it's
of the God of Islam, the God of
Oh,
Islam, which
fantastic.
is the God of Abrahamic religions.
Yeah, I know. And the God of Jews is also the God of Abrahamic religions.
is
And the God
that
of the Christians
ambiguous?
is also. I'm just fucking explaining it to you. Are you that stupid? I'm telling you that the God of
Yeah, I
Abraham.
said the God of Islam.
Yeah, you need to stop. I said that the God of Abraham is ambiguous because the Jewish God is the God of Abraham, the Christian God is the God of Abraham, and the Muslim God is the God of Abraham. So obviously just saying I believe in the God of Abraham doesn't tell me which version of that God you actually believe in.
Okay,
And what I was asking was which version you believe in. So now that we've nailed down, now that you've
I
stopped.
literally said the God of Islam.
Yeah, it took me asking you 4 fucking times for you to say that. So now that we've determined what
because
God
it's
you
the
believe in, what
same.
is the best
It's the
argument or
same.
evidence that would provide rational justification to believe in that God?
Okay, so first off, they're like the God of Abrahamic religion is all one. I'm talking about the truth.
Do you have any
like, the
argument or
truthful-
evidence?
Let's just not evidence of what? That they're all the same?
No.
I'm
What's
not
the
here
best
to
argument or
really discuss
evidence
that.
that would provide rational justification to believe that a
Okay.
God exists? If you stop talking over me,
So-
you'll actually hear the questions when I ask them.
Okay, I'm actually hearing you. What the like can you chill? I'm gonna give you my point. So number one, you're saying that in order for God to exist, he has to give you like a clear proof.
That was an argument that I
right?
gave in response to the previous
Yeah.
guest points. You haven't made those points, so I'm not presenting you that argument. Give an argument for God or
Okay.
get the fuck out of here.
Okay. Okay, so you're actually being really disrespectful, so I'm gonna have to.
Yes. Thank you for leaving. Yeah. You come up here and you act like an idiot. I'm going to treat you the way you deserve. Good times. All right. Well, hey, fair enough. Lobes, you going live tonight?
Yeah, I am.
Fantastic.
Cyber Deconstruction will be joining me tonight.
Hey, nice. So if anybody here in the chat has up to this point fucked up bad enough that you're not following Lobes, make sure that you do that. Give Lobes a follow now. Also, if you're sending gifts, maybe send a couple of Lobes his way as well, or you can hold on and wait till Lobes is live later and send them then. Yeah, with Cyber Deconstruction, as he said. I think as we're like 15 minutes after when I would normally leave, and I started a little bit early, I'm probably going to go ahead and end the live. I appreciate you for hanging out, Lobes. I try to do a little bit better about letting you actually fucking talk this time instead of bringing you up and then talking over you the whole fucking time and not letting you say a word. So apologize for that.
It's all good. You're you're on the move. You got stuff to say.
Let's go.
The synapses are firing.
But I do appreciate everybody who supported. I should run through them real quick. Oh, hey, whoa. Thanks for that. Dash. That was cool to send something big like that right at the end. Thank you. Thank you to, was this Denise Ann? Joshua, Poopman Jones. Oh, also earlier, that Corgi was cool as fuck. Thank you for that, Poopman Jones. Go away. I need to, Dr. Humble, Joshua, send that Galaxy. Thank you. Lupine, Oren, Wit. What is this? The Mineral Tree. I'm assuming that's a fan of Justin. That's awesome. Lobes, thank you. Alan, Lupine, Lemonhead, Poopman Jones, Bear, Lupine, Ken, Casey. I sincerely, 3 pips. Thank you so much. Oh, Philo Dragon. Damn, thank you so much, Philo Dragon. I really appreciate everybody for the support, the likes, and the comment, interacting, sharing the live and everything. Really helps, keep us in the algorithm so that we get to have these conversations. But I will just go ahead and end by saying, the same thing I say all the time. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. You don't know how many more opportunities you're going to have to hug your family and friends, let them know how much they mean to you. So make sure you take every one of those opportunities. Don't let them